It's a rather dull, murky day outside today. Not raining, but I don't feel like going outdoors. So I'm going to have a spin indoors with Rouvy Virtual Training. And the route I have selected is Monte Serra in Tuscany in Italy. It's a 29.8 kilometer ride, and as you can see from the yellow profile on the bottom here, the latter half of it is all uphill, except for the last few kilometers, which seem to give some respite with a slight downhill. So now there are no live riders on this route at the moment, only me. I have my 4 ghost riders or bots, and they are my team. They will keep pace with me. Sometimes they'll go ahead. If I don't catch up with them, they'll drop back, and they won't leave me alone, in a good way. Actually, there are 2 other riders. So there are 4 other riders here. So there must be ahead in the queue here. I can't see them. Maybe they're just waiting for somebody to push off, and they'll go along. Anyway, I'm going to climb on the bike now. That's me there in the yellow, and we're off. Passing under a nice viaduct, probably Roman, just went up through the gears there. There is actually a new feature been introduced on Rouvy now, which is called virtual shifting. I presume you have to have a smart trainer. I'm using the Tax Neo. Also you have to get a little gadget, I think it's called a Bluetooth clicker, which you use to change gears or shift gears. And what it means is you can actually stay in the one physical mechanical gear on your bike, but Rouvy, the app, will do the gear changing virtually for you. And I suppose it's just to reduce wear and tear on your bike. I don't think it's something I'll bother about though. Now, as you see, my virtual partners Will, Lauren, Peter and Emma are behind me. But if I slow down now, here they come. There goes Lauren and Will passing me out on the leaderboard. And they were opening up a gap, encouraging me to close it up, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna take it easy. When you go online in the app, if you have a good internet connection, fast internet speed, you may not need to download the videos. I always do, because for some reason out here the Wi-Fi isn't consistent. But when you do go to download, depending on how the video was originally filmed, you usually get a choice of resolutions. You can go for, if I can remember correctly, is it 720p, 1060p, I forget the next number, it's in the 2000s, or in some there's a 4K option. All depends on how much hard drive space you have. But once you have the video pre-downloaded, then I guess all the internet connection is needed for producing the avatars within the video, and it makes for a more enjoyable, less buggy, less glitchy experience. I haven't had too many issues with Rouvy, with connections between the trainer and the app or the laptop. There are two methods of connecting. You can connect via Bluetooth or via Ant Plus. I have a little Ant Plus dongle in the laptop. That's what I used when I was using Zwift, because I couldn't seem to get the Bluetooth option working. But both Bluetooth and Ant Plus work well with Rouvy. For me anyway, so far. That's been my experience. When you go into the home page on the Rouvy app, there's usually suggested a route that is like the route of the day, or a route that's trending, and there could be 60, 70, 80 or over 100 live riders on it, all of different ages and abilities. And that, when you have more riders, real world riders on the route, it can be an inspiration, or motivation rather. You can pick some guy that passes you out and say, okay, I'm going to catch him up. If you can't, you can't. Or you may look at the leaderboard. Again, you can see it on the left hand side of the screen, where it gives all the names and it gives their distances ahead or behind. So you might look at a guy behind you, see he's gaining on you a little bit, and you might just decide, I'll stay ahead of him. And sometimes when you pass somebody, you can watch, again, you can watch their wattage per kilo, their power output. And sometimes when you pass someone, you'll see their power output going up, which tells you they don't like being passed. And they're trying to catch you up. And you can play kind of little cat and mouse games. And again, that's part of the motivation, which is what you need when you're cycling indoors. Back in the days before the likes of Zwift or Rouvy, all you had was your trainer, and all you could do was stare at the floor and watch the pool of sweat grow in size. But another aspect of it that I like is the fact that you can explore real world routes like this one somewhere in Tuscany in Italy. I've never been to Italy, but after riding some of these routes, it's definitely something for the bucket list. I've ridden a few routes that they have in Mallorca, which were good because I have actually ridden in Mallorca, and I was able to relive some of my holiday experiences without the sunburn. On that yellow line on the bottom of the screen, that's the elevation profile. I can see actually there is one live rider behind me. I'm that blue balloon, and behind me then there's a smaller orange balloon signifying another rider. Going up a bit of the hill now. There's Emma. Hello, Emma. Not very talkative. Anyway, back to the yellow profile on the bottom of the screen. It's mostly yellow for the first part there, and the colour changes as the elevation increases. You can see coming up ahead of me there are a few little orange blips which will be short rises, and green is a descent. And as you can see, if I look then past the halfway mark of the profile, it turns more orange as the climb begins. But I have a bit to go before I get there. Again on the bottom, below the yellow profile line, you can see I've 7.78 kilometers done and 22 kilometers remaining. To the right of that, you can see the ascent in meters. Oops, I missed the gear change. So 51 meters done and 838 to go. Now this little section I'm on, oh, it was steep back there, it was 7%. Again, if you go to the left of the screen, above the leaderboard, you'll see another graphic showing the profile of the section I'm on at the moment. And you see the grade there in percentage, 5.9, 8.2. It should start to ease off now. 5.3, 4, 4.1. The thing I find myself doing as well on some of these more scenic routes, and when I'm not too pushed about my performance, I just pedal along nice and easy, or freewheel as I'm doing now, and I'm actually looking around at the surroundings, taking them in as you would in the real world. Up ahead there you can see what looks like a village perched on top of the mountain. Now this is a little downhill section. I can stop pedaling here now and I'll freewheel. This is actually a handy feature in Rouvy, because when you see a downhill section coming up and you're in desperate need of a pee, you can climb off the bike, go to the loo, do your business, come back, and you're still going downhill. You haven't interrupted your ride, and you can continue on where you left off, only more relieved. Now these banners that I'm just about to go through, they're actually inserted onto the video by Rouvy. I suppose they have to advertise themselves. Just again, drawing your attention to some of the other graphics on the screen. At the top of the screen, very top in the middle, you'll see my elapsed time, which is just coming up in 26 minutes. Below that is a drafting graphic. This is when you're sitting in behind another rider. Depending on your distance from him, it'll give you a score. In this case on, I think it's watts saved. from drafting. In the top left, then you have your power output, I think in watts, the one that's fluctuating there wildly, 107, 111. I'll actually have to look those up, because the one next to it then showing the 2 is watts per kilo. Underneath in the smaller lettering you have my heart rate, 118, gives your zone, which is, I suppose your zones will vary according to your age or fitness. The middle one then, 76, changing again, that's your cadence, pedal revolutions per minute, and the next one then is your actual speed, 31 kilometers per hour. And I've just started the climb now. There's Gianippo has just passed me out. This is, let's see, 12.7 kilometers to go, and most of that uphill, so I'm just going to pedal easy because my lunch is starting to come back up. And just go down another gear. I'm catching Gianippo again. Passing him out. I think I'll just go down another gear and I'll keep him company. My own guys are going ahead, trying to lure me into a greater effort. Not today, lads. Again, you get to see the lovely mountain towns and villages. I don't know what this one is called. There's a mountain river there, or stream on the left over the wall. Narrow streets. Probably give a welcome bit of shade on a hot Tuscan summer's day. I'm in my lowest gear now. I got nowhere else to go. 8.9, 11%. Whoa, I can feel it now. The resistance just increased dramatically on that bend. 8.2, it's gone down. Always tends to be a very sharp gradient on the hairpins. Emma setting the pace up ahead. 11% grade again on that bend. And 11 kilometers to go. And my heart rate's gone up to 140. So I'm just going to crawl. I want to keep that down. Ah, here's Gianippo again. Now you can see from the graphic on the left that the steep section is coming to an end. You can see where the graphic goes from kind of brown or orange to yellow as the grade decreases slightly. But I see it doesn't last too long. .7. God, that feels so much easier. I can sit up and catch my breath. But I think we have 11% coming up again. You can see a gap in the mountains there on the left in the distance. I wonder, is that where this road eventually comes out? I'm doing 70 revs per minute in my lowest gear, and I'm only doing about 10 kilometers per hour. Could probably run up this faster. Oh, 9%. Easy does it. Heart rate's gone up again. 134. Now there's a guy at the side of the road up ahead. What's he doing? Looks like he's having a pee into a tree. See Giannico up ahead in the distance. He's got 63 meters on me now. Well, he can keep it. The distance is 10.27 kilometers, all uphill, and it's going oh so slowly. And I am a lather of sweat. Out in the real world, for some of the steeper little bumps or rises, I'd actually be out of the saddle standing on the pedals, but I can't maintain that stance too long on the trainer. It's just, it seems more difficult, it seems harder on the knees. I guess when you're out in the open, the bike, when you do that, the bike is moving under you, it's swaying from side to side, whereas on the trainer there's a little bit of movement, but it's more or less rigid. These are actually the kind of roads that I like to cycle in the real world, the quieter country lanes, and the more twists and turns the better, because there's nothing worse than just seeing the road, especially on a climb, just stretch out in front of you for miles. Psychologically, it seems easier when you've got some twists and turns. And this is where it ramps up. 10%. Lovely. Reminiscent of Irish roads there on the left. Here's the guys going past again, trying to spur me on. Oh, lads, I'm taking it easy.